Another week here. We've spent some time all over the place. I've been West Metro, Minnetonka, spent some time in Wisconsin where we're at right now. So it's an early morning report because we got a busy day ahead of us. So you're not going to get the report from all day Sunday, but you're going to get it from the rest of the week. Here's how we've caught our fish. We've been fishing a lot of dirty water lately, stained water. We've had a lot of rain, runoff. You've seen the water turn to like either a chocolatey coffee look or a dark green. You can see there. You can't even see in the water really at all where we're at, and it's the same way out west. Many bays on Minnetonka are kind of dirtying up as well. They'll change a bit, but right now it's a little gross on some of these bodies of water, so we're doing some things, I don't want to say different, just you want to get their attention, you want to get them to bite. So for starters, the chatterbait has really turned on the last week. We've been throwing sexy shad, jackhammers with that Zacco on the back, chartreuse, green pumpkin, something with a little bit of flash, something with some vibration, something different to get these fish to really get triggered into biting. I know chatterbaits are not something that people are not throwing, but this last week it's really turned on. We've been catching a bunch of fish on chatterbaits, some big ones. Same thing with swim jigs, high visibility swim jigs, your natural bait fish patterns, chartreuse white turned on again this past week. So swim jigs, excuse me, chatterbaits are catching a bunch of fish. Fun way to catch them, whether it's largemouth bass, big smallie bite on a chatterbait this week, lots of pike, of course, but those are catching fish. Otherwise, we are, of course, fishing shallower water with wacky rigs and things like that again. Even some buzz baits. Jack caught a bunch of fish on a buzz bait this past week up against the banks where there's some shallow weeds moving around. Otherwise, a lot of my big bites this last week have come on jigs, and I've been fishing two specific jigs. One, you all know what I'm going to talk to you about next. I'm fishing that Texas craw finesse jig from All Terrain, and I'm fishing that Magic Swirl pocket craw. You can fish a variety of different colors. We caught them on blue and black, peanut butter and jelly, green pumpkin, watermelon red flake. Variety of ways to fish this bait, but I'm fishing it on usually outside weed lines. I'm fishing it in like 8 to 12 feet of water, fishing it slow, letting it work back to the boat as deep as 25 feet. Big bite out west this past week on Coronas was in deep water, 22, 24 feet of water on this finesse jig. And I just think this works well because these fish have seen so many different variations of baits. They're seeing spinner baits, they're seeing crankbaits, they're seeing bigger jigs, they're seeing chatterbaits like I talked about. But this finesse jig fishes a little slower, a little smaller profile, and that thin wire hook really gets them on a negative day if they're just kind of coming up and picking it up. And that's all they're doing. They're picking up that bait and they're swimming away with it. Water temps are back into the 80s. Even here in Wisconsin, we saw 81, 82 degree water temp. It's that way in Minnetonka, it's that way in the West Metro, it's that way in the Chisago chain. We saw a lot of warm weather back into the 80s. We're gonna see some cool weather now here ahead of us, and you'll see those temps maintain in the 70s again, but they jump back into the 80s. And the other jig I'm fishing, if I need to be a little heavier, I'm fishing that 3/8 ounce or even half ounce all-terrain AT rattling jig. This happens to be candy apple. You can tell I like a little bit of chartreuse or high visibility color contrast in these baits. And I'm fishing this bait again with a pocket craw. I'm fishing just a bull bream pocket craw or else a green pumpkin pocket craw. And this gives you a little more heavy, a little more profile, a little more skirt, thicker wire hook, and it's got a rattle. So if I want to start flipping heavier cover, I'll use a 17 pound or 20 pound fluorocarbon. Heavier cover with that rattling AT jig, that seems to get the bite. So whether I'm fishing that finesse jig, if I can get away with it on sparser weeds, deeper weed edges, or in the heavier cover with an AT jig, 1-2 punch here with jig fishing. Jack was throwing a Grassmaster, half ounce Grassmaster, which catches fish too. He got some big bites on that. So a variety of ways to catch them right now. We did not target any walleyes. Really didn't target any panfish, although we saw the bluegills swimming all over the place. Caught plenty of pike. The boys had some muskies on follow up, so I think the muskies were kind of moving around, but the water temps are warm for the muskies, so please pay attention to that. Otherwise, the bass bite's really good right now. We're going to get after them again today. We got a big fish yesterday that you're going to want to see. I got some on film. I'm going to show you that one later, a big bite. So we got some big fish to go this week, pretty exciting stuff, and we're going to try to crack another big one today. So hopefully you enjoyed the weekend. It was a beautiful weekend to be on the water. Lots of nice weather. We did some tubing. My back's a little sore. I'm a little stiff. My neck hurts from tubing. Jumped from water a little bit, but we're going to get out there this week, chase down some fish. It's going to be cool. It's going to be comfortable. We're going to finish out August in style. So get out there, chase some fish, be safe, have some fun. Next weekend's Labor Day weekend. Another holiday weekend in the water. Be safe. catch some fish.